Day late and $1 short, but nonetheless valuable.
I wanted to see how much you guys wanted it. So we said,
Nobody
would
asked.
anyone
Did anybody
notice?
ask?
No.
Nobody asked?
No. We're
Jessica Wolf, if you hear this, I am disappointed.
We're losers.
Well, you guys have no more ear canals after that one. Welcome to the Baking It Down podcast with Sugar Cookie Marketing Group.
No, after the video we did today, I need you to say that with a little bit more pizzazz.
Okay, so we have So we have a day job, right? But sometimes every once in a blue somebody pays us. Every once in a blue moon, it requires filming, video recording, not commercial TV action, but definitely YouTube event ad type quality.
Yeah.
So nice enough equipment that we could, pretty much get by. It's not cell phone stuff.
It's amazing equipment.
Thank you.
That put us back.
Corey, a
leaps
Canon
and bounds in the
rep.
bank account.
So we go to film. It was this earlier today, and it is hard to talk to a camera. And the only way we found out, we've been doing this for what, five years now. 7 years. 10.
LinkedIn.
The only way we found out that people are truly good in front of a camera is if they practice.
A little bit, but practicing it helps
Practice
so
in
much to
front of a
practice a
camera.
mirror
Oh yeah, a mirror, or put your cell phone facing you and almost
and
just
turn
talk
it on.
violently. Yeah,
where you can actually see your face.
Yeah,
so you can
and-
say like, "Oh, that smile is not going the distance."
right. So what we find is that nobody cares about you as much as you do, right?
Yeah.
So when you turn on the camera and you're so worried what everyone's going to think, hey, listen, they don't care. They just don't care.
They probably won't even watch it, man.
They're probably not going to watch it, but we had to record him. So bless his poor man's soul. Mr. Mike, I called him. He was so in his head before we even got there. Dressed to the nines, looked
Look
sharp.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, just, quick intro, just probably say your name and you were. He's saying, hey, my name's Mike, and I work here. And we're like, okay, now say it like as if you weren't about to get fired. And it's hard. I get it's hard. But if I can tell you, if you're going to teach a cookie class, if you're going to be in front of people, or if you're going to record a TikTok or a virtual
or
class,
something like that.
really just, we always say, we call it a dry run. Go to your own Facebook, turn on the Facebook Live on your personal page, and set the permissions to only yourself.
Yeah.
And just talk blindly. It will reveal so much that you wish you'd known if you had just gone.
Yeah,
straight
and
to
you
the live.
can. What people don't realize is you feel like you're smiling, but when you're nervous, you're not smiling as much as you think you are. You're
tell
like
people,
barely cracking up.
I tell people the more dumb you feel waving with your emotions and your interactions with the camera, the better it will look, because it's so much less than you imagine.
Yeah, so like if you're hooting and hollering and waving your hands above, by the time you're in front of the camera, they're just going to be normal hand waves.
Right. We had to film the local fire department, and I asked them, I said, wave at the camera, but they were all so awkward. And I said, listen, I want you to wave at the camera like you're trying to make fun of people who wave at cameras, because then it's going to look actually normal.
Like,
yeah. And it actually looks a lot better. So, okay, let's jump into the Baking It Down
This
podcast.
is This is the Baking It Down podcast with Sugar Cookie Marketing. We are a group of 32,500 strong, and this is our way to get into your ear canals while you're baking.
and help you learn a little bit more theory, marketing theory, and business theory when it comes to cottage home bakeries and brick and mortar bakeries.
Yeah. So sell more, make that dough.
Make that dough, making that dough.
Well, if you are hearing us for the first time, welcome. We encourage you to join us.
Odd of you to start at episode 54.
We hope you join us in the Facebook group. If you put in the reason how you heard us, if you say the podcast, you get instant access, because I feel like I have to apologize to you. So join us on Facebook. Heather has a TikTok, but she has let it go to
I'm
the
working on
wayside.
it. I'm working on it.
Instagram's got a solid meme content.
We're everywhere and we're also nowhere.
I don't really know where we're stopping by these days, because I don't have that in front of me, but it's the intro you're experiencing now. Then we go to marketing minutes, but Heather's combining it with the baking.
Well, let's just jump right in.
Okay, jump right. Okay,
Whoa.
I'm jumping in. I want to have a serious conversation with you, because these are usually serious times when these posts come into the group. And it's usually like, hey, I have an issue. Customer is mad at me. Here's what happened. What do I say? What do I do? In the group, these posts tend to trend because they're very, very opinion based, which is fine because, you're asking what the, other people's experiences. Have they had the same type of customer issue? What was the outcome is what we really want to know. Like, if I say this, what will the customer do? And that's why those posts trend a lot. In those posts, what I want us to work on, so maybe we don't always have to make those posts, is how can we address the situation before it comes to running into your marketing group saying like, I hate myself, I want to quit, here's a customer's mad at me, I did this, blah. So what can we do to kind of learn how to deal with those customer situations?
I was reading a book on stress management, right? So I think a lot of times when you come to the
Get
group,
a new sister, not Corey. Okay, got it.
Step one, divorce Corey. So when I come to the group and I see those like panicky posts, you see they have no line breaks. It's a wall of text.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard to run-on sentences. You can feel so much emotion.
So much stress is there, right? Yeah. So the book said, listen, if you're at that point, you haven't done the assessment yet. And the assessment is 3 parts. What can I change? What can I not change? And what might I be able to change? She said, write them down.
So Heather and I have a list.
A list.
A listy of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. 5 things that you can do.
In your control.
That are 100% in your control. And if none of these work,
then it was out of your control.
To the group. You can run to the group.
If it's out of your control, which I'd argue that none of this is. I think dealing with client communication and frustration is 100% in your control.
Yeah.
But if it isn't in your control, then you can't worry about it because you couldn't change it anyway.
Yes. So imagine customers mad at you. You delivered cookies yesterday. It seemed fine. You get an email. Hey,
what's the problem? It tastes like soap.
Let's do soap.
Okay.
Let's do soap. You used, if you're new to baking, sometimes almond extract, if you use too much, or if your client has a sensitivity to it, it can taste like soap or flowers. Those are the 2 outcomes.
You get it really good or really weird. But a lot of the times what the client will think is that it was produced in a baking pan that wasn't completely
or
wiped
you
off.
had your Scentsy going or
Something
your Glade plug-in going.
Either way, we've got subjective opinion. Mm-hmm. It tastes like soap.
So oftentimes in the group, I will see someone post, this is how they write it up. One customer says it tastes like soap, but I made 400 million other batches with that same dough and no one said anything. I think they're trying to get something for free. First off, probably not. Heather did a group poll once that said,
how many refunds have you done in the last year?
And how many was it an average of?
Under 0.5.
Under 0.5. So I don't think our customers are out to get us.
If they were, what a diabolical plan to have to go and engage with a baker. One, I don't really like talking to strangers, and let alone spending money and having to deal with
for that.
And then going to go get the cookies, and then taking the cookies back, and then eating the cookie, and then be like, wow, my plan has begun.
I got 1 bite for free.
This tastes like soap.
Okay, so rule number 1. Give it some time. Give it some space. What has happened has happened. You cannot go and take the soap taste out of those cookies. So what you do is when a customer emails you and they have a somewhat of a complaint, we have so much emotion in those first few minutes. And it's a natural inclination to want to
immediately address
it so it can be a chapter closed and you can move on with your life. The problem is you're so emotional.
You're so close.
You're so close to the situation.
You're so close to having rendered these amazing services that you've worked really hard. You build this business. It's your blood, sweat, and tears. It's become your identity somewhat. And now someone said, hey, your identity, your blood, sweat, and tears. I don't like it. Yeah. It's actually soapy. So you have soapy blood, sweat, and tears.
Thanks. I cried into this batch.
So was the batch in
the soap? No, give it some time and give it some space. When my son gets in trouble, I have to tell him, give me 15 minutes. Because
I love breaks.
Yeah.
I love them.
The punishment he would get right off the bat.
My tire. But he's looking for a resolution. Just give it to me, whatever the punishment.
Tell me what it is.
But if he was truly smart, he'd give you some space.
Yeah. So I say, hey, can you go to your room for about 20 minutes? Let me just think about it. Because the emotions I have right when he tells me, like, I got an F on this test are so much more raging than it is 20 minutes ago.
You haven't had the logical processing time.
Yeah. What I want to say is, you don't own a video game system anymore. Xbox. But what I need to do is take the 20 minutes and be like, okay, we can hire a tutor. Here's what we can do. Hey, we'll limit our video game times. And then like, if you've earned it and I see that you're studying and getting better grades,
Right.
we can bring it back in the game. Would I say
Knee-jerk
that?
responses.
No, knee-jerk response is like, no.
Unfortunately, our knee-jerk responses aren't often the most logical or founded in reason.
Because
They're
they're
the most
founded emotions.
emotion and defensiveness. It isn't in soap. I did not have soap. No one else said it was soapy. Only you're saying it's soapy. Now we've put ourselves at odds with each other.
Yeah.
Further.
So give it some space.
I'm going to challenge you 24 hours.
Heather says 24 hours. I think some of you guys would implode.
Okay. And I knew that some people would implode at that thought. And I know some people are like, well, they need an immediate. I pride myself on my response times. Here's what you can do. Thank you so much. Give me 24 hours to get back to you. You haven't given too much information. You haven't defended yourself. You haven't invalidated them. You've acknowledged them and given them an expectation.
Like that. So you give it some space.
You bought yourself it. If you have the need to reply instantaneously, I'd check your own digital boundaries. But if you can't just logically give yourself a 24-hour space, another great way to get 24 hours without having to actually confront is have an away message. An autoresponder saying, hey, thank you so much. Your email has been received. If you're getting this autoresponder, it takes me 24 hours to reply.
Yeah. So honestly, that's probably the best answer. So then you can just step away
Even
from the
further away.
situation. Yeah. So giving yourself 24 hours, even if you're like, I can't do that quite. I only got 24 hours that I can actually survive during that time. Because, you know, people do have different types of anxiety and maybe 24 hours isn't. If you can give it an hour.
I'll say 24 hours. I'm going to challenge everyone.
No,
24 hours.
That's fantastic. But if we're baby stepping up there,
Yeah.
give it an hour. I don't think giving it 10 minutes is not enough.
No. But I would say in that hour, make you a list. What's in my control? What's out of my control? What could be in my control?
If you are a baker, you know that some people can have the almond reaction of thinking it tastes floral or thinking it tastes soap-like.
What's that leafy green that
Eucalyptus?
cilantro? No,
Cilantro.
Some people love the taste of cilantro. And then there's a bunch of people who don't. And whatever, it's like genetic. Some people
I've
do.
never heard this about cilantro.
Cilantro. I don't know. Get on
Cilantro.
Reddit. They love to argue about it.
I put it on every Italian dish I ever
So
made.
do you like it?
I'm going to say yeah. But I don't think
I think I'm a soapy cilantro
a
party.
soap cilantro?
Cilantro doesn't taste good to a lot of people. Cilantro.
Okay, if you're hearing this, just post your thoughts on cilantro in the group. All right, next up is risk assessment. I have to read this. I read it to Heather just a second ago, but this is someone posted. I said I would leave her as a non-group member. This is what she posted to someone who had an issue this morning with their customer. She said, in every situation, I really only have two things I ask myself. Does this customer have the potential to make me money by becoming a valuable client if I make them happy? Or does this customer have the potential to cost me money by leaving negative reviews and bad-mouthing my company? If either of those questions is a yes, I do whatever I need to do to make the situation go away.
It was a risk assessment right there.
I thought that was fantastic. Here's the thing. When you come into groups like Sugar Cookie Marketing or any other big groups and you say the word, should I refund or not?
You have invited quite a...
Here's the thing. You'll see a lot of responses that says, no refund. Behind those two simple words to type is a tornado that can take place between you and your customer.
Well, one, it's easy to say no refund, but are you going to write the word no refund to the client?
No, all caps. Here's the thing. I love money. Heather can tell you that 100%. I always want to keep my money. I don't always want to refund somebody. But in the long run, could a refund potentially
Bring in more
money? Is the answer
risk.
always a refund?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Someone just today, and if you are in the group, the comment section's still open because you guys are crazy about that, said, I had a customer. She was late to pay. She finally paid. Her order's due in 2 days. Today she called and she wants to cancel it.
A rough one.
That is a rough and tumble one.
And technically, if she has her policy set up, it would be an easy no. But is it a long-term investment to have short-term cancellation?
Can I read my suggestions to her while you discuss that? And I'll try to find it real fast.
Yeah, I think that when we come down to saying the word risk assessment, what it does is compartmentalize the things that we have within our control, the worst case scenario, which will never be as bad as we think it is, and the best case scenario, that's our goal. So if we say, okay, the worst case scenario, do I end up on the street? Does my house end up burned down? The way some of you guys reply, maybe. But odds are your house is safe. So my true worst case scenario is that I'm a loss on the total sale amount. That would be my worst case scenario. Or I keep the sale amount, but this client will cost me more in terms of bad reviews. So how many sales am I out there? And then you can have the argument, well, Heather, it's the morality of it is that they're trying to possibly get one or they didn't respect my boundaries. That is a part of your risk assessment.
That is a part. So when Heather and I lean towards giving people refund, make the headache go away. But in this case where she only has 2 days, she's probably halfway finished the order. I gave her 3 examples. Do you mind if I read them?
Yeah.
Example number 1, giving a partial refund. Good morning, customer. I appreciate you reaching out and I'd like to work with you on this. My policy states no refunds 1 week prior to pickup, but I understand that situations arise that are out of our control. I can do a partial refund for the cookies I have not completed. This way you save some funds and I can be compensated for the time of the order that it took me to finish the cookies. These cookies freeze really well. The instructions on freezing are insert instructions. I'll be issuing you a refund in the amount of blank. It should be returned to your account in 3 to 5 business days. I appreciate you understanding and supporting my small business. I'm willing to answer any questions on cookie storage for you.
Not very fun, but I like it.
Sometimes you can't be fun, man.
Oh.
So that was a partial refund. Is that a solution where both parties win?
Both parties have a compromised one.
Yes, because right now, the lady who posted this, she is out. She could have taken another order that would have come through 100%. So she is out those.
She's out the services rendered. Could she mitigate by flipping those cookies?
She could. Right. Wedding order. Someone had a fantastic idea. You could make them as samples and really lean into the wedding community as it's coming up. It's the bride time and everything like that. Example number 2, no refund. Since a lot of people say the word no refund, you have to remember that
OP has to talk.
She has to say those words, no refund. And it's rarely the end of the conversation.
I'll challenge anybody. If you're about to write the phrase no refund, you must also write what you think they should say to convey that. Because the hard part is the conversation, not the word no refund.
Yeah.
Cool, great.
And if you're like, no, just say no refund, it's a full sentence, then
could you imagine getting that?
It's a full sentence. Give her the worst for the negative review that will follow.
They said no refund.
So if the OP wanted to give no refund, I said, good morning, customer. I received your message and wanted to get you a response ASAP. Upon agreeing and paying for the order, you agreed to my terms and conditions. One of those is that I do not issue refunds 1 week out from the pickup date. I understand that can be frustrating, but let me explain. Let me complain about you. Time and money have already gone to your order for ingredients, designs, and I've already started on the actual cookies. I'd love the opportunity to finish the order so you can get 100% of the value for your payment. These cookies freeze very well, and these instructions are followed here. As a small business, I always try to be fair to each customer who allows me the opportunity to earn their business. These policies are here to help both of us. Your understanding the situation truly means the world to me. I'd love to finish this order for you, or at least give you the completed cookies. That's a no refund.
Yeah, little hurt my feelings a bit.
You didn't feel, but I had to, if you're no refund, you have to explain like terms and conditions I'm following through.
Could that be an argument of a tinge bit of over explanation when, hey, we don't offer refunds right now, but let me tell you how you can store these and they'll stay safe for 6 months.
That's what I have.
But I'm just cutting out listen, come here, I'm going to spank you a little bit and then give you a hug after.
And that's how we were raised. Here's the thing. If I wanted to explain, a lot of people wrote in the comment section, you have to tell her, like, your time and energy and your marketing, you can't get that back. One, the customer doesn't care.
No,
customer cares, one, right now about her money.
She wants the money back.
She wants the money. She doesn't care about your time, your expertise, your marketing budget, none of that.
Right. So, here's the thing. Like, I have clients constantly saying, like, can you do this? And the natural inclination is to defend why I can't. But then I found that if I defend why I can't, somebody who still wants what they want is going to work around my no.
Yeah, they're like, oh, thanks for telling me the points I need to overcome.
Right. So what you're saying right here. So I found out, like, hey, no, we don't offer this service. It's just, that's the end. Like, what can you, no, you should start offering it. I'm sorry, we just don't offer that service. Could I do it? Yes. Do I want to? No. So I just say no. Not because it takes about 5 hours for this to happen. Like, oh, no, we don't offer that service.
One time I was just reading Heather's email chain with a customer, and Heather was like, we don't offer the service. And then like 2 emails later, she was like, yeah, but can you offer this service? And I was like, okay, we do not offer this service. All right. So risk assessment was there a third one? Yeah, but I felt you looked bored when I was reading it.
I was just contemplating if I received that, what would I say?
Okay, final example, giving a full refund. Good morning, customer.
Everyone's going to love this.
I understand that things arise that are out of our control, and while my policies do state that there is no refunds a week prior to pickup, I would like to work with you. I appreciate your business and the opportunity to bake for you. That is why I'm making a single exception to my policies and issuing you a full refund. I won't be able to accommodate this in the future. I appreciate you and thank you for choosing to support small businesses in our area. Because you ain't gonna support mine.
You sound mean to me.
My phone starts detecting like spam. Look at all these spam messages.
I got spam too.
But why are you telling me I have spam? Just delete it and stop telling me I have it.
It is your ex-boyfriend texting me.
Yeah, I always try to All right, so that was my 3 examples of how to respond. You can come to groups and you can say, do I refund? And you're going to see a lot of don't refund. But there is so much work after those words that you would have to assess. That's your risk assessment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I like that we had a cookie class. A lot of people like to cancel after the cancellation.
It's something that just like gets on my
really, honestly, I've never seen Quickie in my first year. But people be like, can I get a refund? And the phrase that I found that works really well for me is, while I can't do that, and it sounds like it's not me anymore. Like, I can't, but what I can do.
It's my grouchy
it's my wallet. My wallet can't. But what it sounds like when I say, hey, while I can't do that, here's some workarounds or here's an alternative. Even if the alternative, I've still faced no loss. So while I can't give you a refund, I can give you a class credit that you can use in a future class.
My favorite was, well, I can't give you a refund. I can leave your kit on the porch.
And that lady was like, thank you so much.
Yeah, I know. She told herself.
So I really like that phrase. While I can't do what you asked, here's a compromise, even if it's not really a compromise. So, while if someone says,
while I can't give you a refund, here's how you store the cookies.
While I can't, because my arms are tied by myself.
While I can't give you a full refund, I can give you a partial refund on the part of the order I haven't completed.
Or you can say, hey, while I can't give you I can't give you a refund since we're under the week policy, what I can do is give you 10% off your next order. And that's nothing they asked for, right? That's 100% not what they asked for, but it makes them feel like they got something.
It's something, man.
You didn't lose either.
Yeah.
You also got a second order.
Maybe. Okay, so risk assessment. Then we have know your options.
Ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like know your recourse. So if I don't refund them anything,
I could face a bad review.
My house being burned down.
Them showing up to my home.
If I give them a partial refund, they could be happy, but they may not order from me again.
The thing is, a lot of times when these people come to this group, this was a wedding order that was canceled 2 days before. Did the guy cheat on her? Was she left at the altar? Who knows the story behind it? There's a lot more zhuzh to the story that we don't know. So say, no refund. She's like, what?
Let's think about this. If something goes wrong, what are our total options when it comes to recourse? No refund, partial refund, full refund, future discount.
Yeah.
Extra, added, freebie.
I think we should go back to the almond taste thing and stay on course. Sorry, I got with the post from this morning.
Married in weddings. And
I know.
And he divorced
John!
me.
How dare you?
So, okay. Well, that changes things. If the client's saying these don't taste good, you're probably limited to saying like, well, you got to eat what you got, but I'll give you 10%.
Here's a common response that I do see, and it's very defensive on the baker's part. The thing that we have to realize is someone's feelings are just that. It's theirs. It's their feelings. By telling a customer, well, I sent out 52 batches this week, and you're the only
broke. No good, no bueno.
We can't accuse them that their mouth doesn't work correctly, okay? You've seen cilantro and you know cilantro. When you're at a restaurant, and we're all eating at restaurants, or takeout, whatever, and it comes out cold, do you want the waiter to come and make it? You're like, hey, this steak is a little cold. Do you want him to cut a slice and taste it and be like, no, it's not?
And then I'll give you back what you haven't eaten. I would say... This is what I've heard once, is if you really truly want to understand the perfect response, argue in favor of the other party, because it'll force you to see it from their perspective.
Let's try it.
Okay, so you're my almond taster?
No, I'll be the almond taster.
Okay.
I tasted a lot of flowers in my stuff.
Oh, I think I say soap. Let's go with soap. Flowers sounds fun.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
A thistle.
New botanical.
Okay. All right, cookie design was amazing. They were exactly the designs that I wanted. I just was curious. They were just a little soapy. I even had my husband taste them too, and he also tasted a little soap in there.
Well, that has got to be shockingly horrifying. I am so sorry about that. Turns out with the type of almond, if there's an excessive use of it, it can give that soap taste. Totally understand what you're saying. I actually see it a lot in the Facebook groups that we had. Some clients will say, hey, just taste soapy. Rest assured, though, you guys did not eat a dose of Dawn. It was just an extra amount of almond flour. Then I would go to my recourse. Do I want to give a refund partial or whatever?
Well, I said I liked going to the bar. I did not mean the bar of soap.
So so a lot of people here like, you what? You're thinking that I'm not a good baker? I'm going to say something, and you can tell me if you disagree with this. I don't think defensiveness has any place in business.
Let me think. Have we been defensive?
We've been defensive, but we get 24 hours. 24 hours to be defensive.
We had a client that got super angry with us because he wanted stuff for free. And we said no. So Heather said, oh, no, here's what you pay for. Here's what you'll get. And then he said, no.
I said it in a very nice way.
No, she said it's so nice.
I said, hey, great. Thanks so much for bringing that up. We can add it to your scope if you like. Otherwise, here's all the things you'll need to know to do it yourself. That's what I said.
Yes. And then he said,
go
I'm coming
to a place that is warm.
Take her to the store with you. But Heather, instead of getting defensive, because he did get pretty mad way late on a Friday night, Heather said, appreciate it. Here's the steps to roll off as a client. We'll need you to take ownership of this, this, and this, and then we'll remove ourselves as admins from this and this. She never got defensive. She never placated the accusatoriness that he gave because he wanted to bring her down to his level. Because when it's throwing fists, man, everything's on the table.
And I argued from his perspective. While I disagreed with why he got upset, I'd say, hey, if I was in his shoes and someone told me no to things that I've always asked for and gotten for free, and now I have to pay for it, well, that's really frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm going to message her at 10 p.m. on a Friday with some choice words. So it allowed me, and to argue in his defense allowed me to rewrite my reply to be like, I totally understand how frustrating that is. It must sound super frustrating. We've changed our scope policies. So here's our new pricing structure. If it's something you like, great. If not, great. If you want to yell at me late at night, okay.
I like that you brought up the policies. The thing that a lot of people don't necessarily add to these posts in the group is that, hey, it states in my policies that Heather has on my job form that if you check this little box, you agree to my
only pay
policies.
if you check the box.
You can only pay. So if you're like, I'm not going to check this box and I'm just going to pay, you can't. You physically cannot. You have to check off my terms and services. If you want to take the time to read those bad boys, by all means, they're actually written very well. So.
You know what's so funny?
Kind of
someone thought this great idea. They said, yeah, I have terms and conditions or terms, my policies. And if you click to it, it's a document. But like on halfway down, it says, hey, if you've read this far, you get a free cookie. Just let me know.
Yeah, I know. That's fantastic. Just probably made 0 free cookies.
Right.
Here's the thing. But you can also, if you aren't using job forms, you can add it to your form, whatever you're using. Hey, upon paying, you have now agreed to my terms and service. It makes it even easier. But having terms and services and conditions and scope is going to save you in the long run. Because if the lady today didn't have those terms and service and the lady wanted to cancel on 2 days, she's up the creek without a paddle. No.
It's your word against the others.
Yeah. So you can't say, well, my terms and services are the things you agreed to that you didn't read are.
Essentially what you're saying is like, that's not fair.
Right.
Like, okay. Well, to them it's fair. That's why they asked.
Yeah. So, I mean, everywhere we shop, there's always a return policy, man. You got to have a box at DSW.
Yeah, if you went to return a pair of shoes to DSW and they were like, hey, it looks like they've been worn 50,000 times. For you to get mad at them. Are you calling me a liar? To be frustrated that it's a type of person and it's probably a person that you don't want to typically deal with. So I'd say they go into the immediate refund to get that problem to go away.
Yeah. And then maybe if they reach out to you in the future, hey, I can't take your order.
I'm
You
booked
don't
for all eternity.
no, don't even say I'm booked. Say I
can't.
can't take your order, but here's X, Y, and Z bakers.
You didn't give the reasoning for them to dance.
No,
around.
and it's not this weird where you're booked for 50,000 years and people are like, when are you not back? No, you can continue to advertise, but when they reach out to you, hey, I'm sorry, I can't actually take your order and accommodate you. Here's these 5 bakers that you can go cause them some grief.
Yeah.
I hate this person.
This person wasn't nice to me.
This person took my customer.
Yeah, but that's a great way. I once dated this guy that Corey hated, but every time I said no, he'd be like, "Can I get like what are 5 reasons why you don't want to?" And I'd be like, "Well, this, that, and the other." He'd be like, "Yeah, don't worry, we're not gonna go skydiving." But like, what are your reasons? Like, I don't know, it's expensive. I don't have a lot of time. It's kind of far away. Plus, it's skydiving.
Then he would be like, "Great, because I'm buying."
He'd undo all
I'm
my
driving.
Yeah, I was like, why am I always doing things I don't want to do with this dude? And I realized it's because he was asking for a list. Yeah, if you can override these 5 things, we'll do whatever. So when you give too much information to problematic clients, you're allowing them to go through the
To
checklist
come over
of,
your objections.
yeah.
So I just can't accommodate your order. Here's these bakers.
There's
Have
nothing
a great
you can
day.
say back to that.
No, sorry, can't accommodate it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the sentence. No. All right, sorry. The next is hope for the best, but plan for the worst. A lot of times in the comment sections, people will be like, no, refund and blocker. You can't block people from Google.
Yeah.
While a lot of people start their sales on Facebook, you can and you do have the option on a Facebook page to turn off the reviews tab.
There's one tab of many places you can leave reviews.
So you can turn off the reviews. That means no one can see your reviews, but no one can leave your review. So if you have like 35-star reviews, now they're technically gone. But you can turn the reviews.
They're temporarily gone.
Yeah. But they're gone. No one can read them and vet you.
And
But
no
also
one can leave
that
you.
person can.
Which is a great way to buy forced time. So you're giving the client a break, especially if the client is irate.
Yeah. So they can kind of air out. The problem is you can only do that on Facebook.
Yes.
But there's so many more review sites than that.
So with one client, man, like not great at the reply. The reply is everything. The reply isn't written to this client. It's actually written to everybody else. So if you're writing in a defensive way to that client, you're turning everybody else off. But this client of ours got a bad review. From what I could see, it was from somebody who legitimately had a bad experience and then got their friends to also leave additional bad reviews. Instead of handling it on Facebook, he invalidated them, whether or not who was right.
Yeah.
They turned around and did the exact same thing to his Google.
Yeah. And guess what? While you can turn the reviews tab off on Facebook, you cannot return. You cannot turn it off on Google. Yelp. What's another one?
Next door is unrecommended.
Community groups.
Community groups are wild, man.
They're wild. If they can drag you through the mud in there, that you have to think. That's a part of the risk assessment. If I turn, is this person loud enough?
Is this going to
ruin me?
light a fire?
Yes. So we have talked about it before, but we have a client who did a remodel, I want to say 15 years ago. The lady still.
She created them profiles to leave bad reviews on websites I never heard of.
No, we just happened upon them. It was like 1-star review across the board. It was probably maybe 22 sites that she did it. Plus, if you bring up their name in a community group, she comes in from like
The depths
of despair and says, I hate them.
Because it was poorly handled on both the side of the company and the client. But the client has a lot of time on their hands.
A lot of time. It
went from an inconvenience to a personal attack. That client heard it.
Yeah,
the way that it was received, and that was because I don't think the remodeler understood the repercussions of the long-term cost assessment of how this is going to be handled. And I'd say it's cost them a lot more than handling that. And in that case, perhaps the refund would have been.
I would say 9 times out of 10 in the baking world, your customers aren't out to ruin you. One, they're investing in small business by even contacting you in the first place.
Crumble Cookie is right around the corner.
Yeah, they're right. They're getting closer every day. Love them.
Don't sue us.
My name is the Crumble Cookie. Stop calling me. They're not out to take you down. They do want resolution. You'd want resolution in the same thing if your cookies tasted like soap to you. So they're not out to ruin you. They are just out to have a solution with you for this particular issue.
Here's an interesting one, because a lot of us think of terms of a full refund. The full refund covers your profit. So you covered your costs, you covered your time. You covered your indirect expenses, and then you've added 20% profit. So not when you don't refund completely, when you give 0 refund but remake the order, you actually still protect your profit a little bit.
Yes.
A full refund is, you're taking the full loss there.
The thing
But to
is,
rebake,
that's why we have, and I actually named this, and Heather stole it from me, and the post did fantastic, but it's called an oopsie fund. An oopsie fund is, just imagine adding 25 cents per order. So if my base dozen is $65, it'd be $65.25.
Oh, you're not charging on the 25. Listen, guys, we live in a tax world. I never get a double zero.
Yeah, and 25 cents, well, you're like, that's so no one has quarters on them. People are also paying cash.
I've never seen anyone say, how are you guys getting a lot of cash for change on
So
the
it's easy for me to type into my Venmo 65.25. But if Heather has done the math, and I don't know it off the top of my head, if you add 25 cents per order, and she did the average order that people do, you'll have an oopsie fund that can cover these issues. So you never make a loss.
You don't feel it. And you're now not emotionally attached. Now, you can't pretend the oopsie fund is your money. The oopsie fund is this entity.
Yes.
This safety net of an amount of money that you've generated by adding an additional fee to everybody, so that when this one person is upset, it does not hurt you at all to be like, hey, I'm super sorry about the soap taste. Here's your money back.
Yeah. We bank with Navy Federal, and you can have in your banking account 5 checking accounts. Yeah. So you can name one oopsie fund. It'll be crazy when your banker's like, what's an oops? You can name one oopsie fund, and you can start adding money to theirs, because you don't want to borrow against it. You don't want to use that money as your profit.
Yeah, it can't be the oopsie also Eddie fund.
It has to be just there for times like this, where the risk assessment says, I'm going to lose more if I don't refund this person than I will making it, but I'm not going to take a loss because I'm going to take my payment out of my oopsie fund and start that savings over again.
Can I go back to the stress-proof brain?
Sure.
Sometimes the ability to just refund somebody takes away the angst that you're left with by having to deal with the situation, right? Mm-hmm. So almost like selfishly, like, hey, here's your refund. And suddenly I can go to bed better. And suddenly it's not sitting on my mind. I'm not worried about my reviews tab. I'm not worried about the community group.
So here's a response I see often as a response. Why have terms and conditions if you don't adhere to them yourself? You're training people that your terms and conditions mean nothing. What would be your response to that?
My response is that the terms and conditions is what I can cite. That it's us against my terms and conditions. For you, I can make an exception, or for you, I'm just going to point you back there. Mm-hmm. Or if they don't exist, or I can't point at anything.
Yeah. So I know everyone's like, this one love to refund. One time, it is well known between me and Heather, I cannot see the color purple very well.
Yeah, Corey thinks it's gray.
I can't. It's either pink or gray.
It's so funny because we were like, no. We're like, oh, cute purple sweater cookie. Corey's like, my gray sweater cookie. We're like, oh, what?
So I had an order, and it had a lot of purples in it. Because I know about myself, I cannot see purple. I had to cite the colors I was using. So I said, please, before you confirm this order, check these colors by AmeriColor. Named them. That's exactly what I used for the order. When I sent her the completed photo that I always do, she said, I thought it would be more pink. To me, it was bright pink. I couldn't see any purple. And I said, honestly, I appreciate you bringing that up. If you look back in our conversation on your order form, I have said that we'd be using mauve, which is a purplish pink. And she said, oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. It looks great.
If you hadn't have done that, you wouldn't have been able to say, hey, if you scroll back up. And that's what terms and conditions and terms of service is.
Yeah. And knowing yourself, like, if I worked with almond extract, have people been able to taste a soapy or floral aftertaste? Yes. I need to bring that to the attention of my customers before they order. So we can cite, oh, yeah, you're one of the 2 out of 100,000.
Cilantro.
So that you can know moving forward. I know upon talking with a customer what type of customer they're going to be.
You struggle through that.
Customer. Customer. Yeah, I'm going to my cilantro. I know what type of customer they're going to be. If they're easygoing and they say, yeah, blue and pink, that you're my type of person. If you're saying I would like a mauve, okay.
If you could pull up the color wheel of the Pantone.
Yeah, so I know going in what type of customer that I need to meet. So if you're naming like, yes, and I like that the metallic detail is a rose gold, okay, then we're going to have to get specific, because if something arises after you pick up the order, I need to be able to say, oh, we already went over this. We've already covered it. It was you signed off when you paid. You gave me the thumbsy up. So then I know that if something arises, we already kind of talked about it.
It's the same reason. Like, why did UPS make me sign I literally just hit the little keypad and made a scribble because they need to say like, hey, listen, it was a signature required. Somebody signed it. And our responsibility has been passed.
Yeah.
And that is what terms and conditions like, hey, you had clicked the checkbox before you placed your order. Now the responsibility actually is passed on to you.
Yeah. So it's good to plan ahead for these kind of issues. It's good to have risk assessment.
I'd write it down to say, here's my internal company policy of one. If you're one person, you can have company policies as well. When we have a problematic client or an issue with the client, here is the 3 options of recourse that we can choose from. And then have that spelled out because that's a non-emotional document.
It's not emotional. And that's the problem with these responses is there's so much emotion in them.
I think when people say don't refund, they're thinking of something that's happened in their own lives, their own business, where they said like, don't refund because of this one time. Because a lot of times they're like, this one time we don't know what their relationship is with their client when OP asks the question. OP means original poster, by the way. Yeah. When OP asks the question and we're drawing from our own past experience, that's irrelevant to what OP is feeling or going through or what their client has said.
One comment today was, you'll win in small claims court.
If you're going to sue somebody, I hope your time is a little bit more valuable than...
Yeah, the solution was so far away from suing somebody that's what I don't want our group to go towards first.
Go for the throat. No, absolutely not. Go through everything else first. And then I'd almost be like, how much is if you've ever been to traffic court, like
my husband's there all the time, getting people like you.
I was sitting there. I sat there twice for 5 hours. Imagine the loss of income.
Just from sitting there.
Yeah. Small claims court is very similar. Sitting there, wasting your time for a $68 order, $200 order. Is there a place for it?
Judge Judy's not friendly either.
They're not friendly. But I always do write my emails back as if they were going to be read in court.
Heather always says that.
Not because I don't want the judge to be like, well, you sound harsh. But I want the judge to be like, well, he or she cited this scope. What do you have to say? And the person will be like, well, I don't want to pay it.
Okay. Since we've talked a long time, I'm going to email you as if I'm the almond customer, and I want you to tell me the next steps. Okay.
I can choose whatever I want.
You can choose whatever you want. This is like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, I love those books. I was like, I had my finger in all of these. I was like, let me see if I chose this. I died. I died here too. Well, this one I can keep going.
All right. Hey, Heather, the cookies that you baked looked fantastic. Everyone could not stop raving about the design. They were absolutely beautiful, everything I had envisioned. We had a few cookies left over after the party. No one said anything, but I decided to eat one because why make a good cookie go to waste? It just had a little bit of a soap taste, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I did have my husband taste it too, just to make sure it wasn't going crazy, and he said he actually tasted it as well. Just wanted to bring this to your attention.
Thank you so much. I hope that maybe you had the only 2 that tasted like soap and it didn't ruin your party, but please, please let me make you a set just for you and your husband to enjoy. What happens is sometimes when there's an overuse of almond extract, some people can pick up on a soap taste. But rest assured, it wasn't baked in a soapy dish. I promise. If you wouldn't mind, just let me allow to make this custom set for you. I'll drop them off at your door.
No. I don't want you to do the cookies were amazing. No one complained. I just wanted you to know about the taste.
Then let me thank you by just dropping off some of my favorite sets I've been working on. I think you're going to love them. Just a little treat for you guys to have after work. So free.
So pretty guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed. One time someone did say, they were like, thank you so much for caring about my business as much as I do and bringing this to my attention. And I was like, wow, what a way to deflect the negativity and turn it into a positive. Like, thank you for caring enough about me. Because I sent out 52 orders for people who didn't care. You're the only caring one.
Right. I think it's a great way. It was so funny when we were recording today. I started having to feed this poor man lines because he just couldn't get his mood up. Yeah. But I had said, say, hey, while this isn't for me, blah, blah, blah. And Corey's like, hey, that's actually a negative connotation. Can we remove it? And I was like, great, that's a great point. Is our correspondence with our clients should be if it's negative, figure out a way to say it positively.
Anything can be rewarded.
Anything can be reworded to be a positive spin on a negative connotation.
Mm-hmm. So I
don't like your outfit. I love the way you look in this outfit over here. I'm saying the same thing. Don't
what
wear
you were
this
wearing
one.
yesterday was bomb.
Right.
This
if
one's
I
just
say
a
like, yeah, you can say to people things so like, hey, I thought it tasted like soap. Thanks so much for caring about my business. Versus,
no, I sent out 52 orders and you're the only one who complained.
oof, oof, oof. Air sucked out of the room.
She's telling me my taste buds are broken.
Taste buds broken. Twin stomach, me tell you.
So, sometimes in the past when I've been upset to a customer, I'll have typed everything up and then I'll send it to Heather and I'll be like, unpack that. Because there's so much emotion into it. What Heather will do.
Corey and I will do both to each other.
Yeah. If you need to, and it doesn't have any curse words or any customer bashing, you can do that in the group. Say, this is my draft to this customer. Is that okay? Or would you reword it in a certain way? And there's always a better way to say something that maybe you can't see right in the moment because you're
Blind
heated,
spots.
you're emotional, blind spots.
Take us.
You care too much. We don't care. We have all the time in the world. It's all my business.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Corey, yeah, so I'll say what I'll write. I even do it to myself. Like I'll write what I want. And I'll be like, that's not good. That's not it.
Not good.
Then I'll say, okay, I need to make sure I leave out the objections that it can overcome. So I edit those out.
Yeah.
And I try to actually shorten my sentences.
I think when you're dealing with a customer relation issue, short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Me and Heather, we like to write in puns and everything. During those moments, that's where puns need to be left out.
So you want to validate the concerns, whether or not you agree with that. I was talking to a therapist and she was like, hey, just to validate someone doesn't mean you agree with what they're saying. And for some reason, those have always been the same in my head. Like I can't validate you because I'm saying you're right.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, oh yeah, I totally see where you'd get that.
Yes.
And that's saying like, hey, your reality, your feelings are accurate to you.
Yes. Your feelings can't be wrong because they're yours.
Yeah. It's your experiences, your life experiences that have led you to these feelings. Now, can I understand your feelings, why you're feeling them, and how can we find a resolution?
Yes. That benefits both parties. And, sometimes that is a full refund to make.
That benefits you in a different way.
It benefits you in the long run. And while you're like, maybe I lost the battle, you've won the war, man.
Yeah.
You really, truly have. And I know some people are so against refunds.
You're training your customer. Listen, this is one time they'll get it over on you.
Yeah, because you're probably not going to bake for them again with
Right.
our handy dandy sentence of cannot accommodate. Here's other bakers.
Yeah, so maybe, and then here's the one, this one phrase, I don't know where I heard it, but it really sets you free. It'll always shake out. If this one client is truly this bad apple who is trying to get free things from every small business in the area, I bet you the rest of their life is really, really stressful.
Yeah.
And it'll always shake out. You can say, well, I need to teach them a lesson. Dude, if
They're being taught lessons everywhere, man.
they got a lesson book. And you can say like, it'll shake out. And it allows you to take the feeling of animosity and be like, hey, you're not going to pay your bill with me. I'm going to obviously let you out of this. But they'll pay the bill. The bill always comes due.
Yeah.
And it always shakes out. And there's a book it was written in 1905, so I would not recommend it. It's written and thee and thou.
Okay.
But it's called As a Man Thinketh. Meaning, as you think, if you're a person who wants to get one over on people, your life will look like somebody who tries to get one over on people. Uh-huh. And that's just not our battle to fight. And it'll shake out.
It will. Yeah, they'll be alone. They'll be alone.
Yeah, and now if you're saying, as a man thinketh, I want to be sweet, I want to be personable, I want to be friendly, I want to be respectful, I want to validate people's feelings, it's going to shake out that you're going to be a business owner who respects people. And guess what? You'll make more money that way.
You will. I think in this industry of baking, a lot of people definitely look at it as like it's art. So when someone says I don't like it, you take it personally because that's your work of art.
But think about like I don't understand art. I appreciate that people have talent and I have none. Uh-huh. But there's some art that I'm like, that is really cool. Uh-huh. And there's some saying, I think I could do that. And here's the thing. It doesn't mean that all art has to please everybody. There's so many people in the world. People buy Toyota Priuses and people buy Lincoln Navigators.
Right. And I think taking what Heather's just saying there and thinking like, hey, my art just might not be the art for them. Right. But it's the art for so many people. You have so many people who purchase from you who love it. If someone has some issue. What was that sound?
Ruthie. Just crazy after 5.
So my goal here is before you come to the group where your emotions are running hot, take a whole hour, because what it's going to help you do is craft a post in the group that's going to be beneficial to you. So, hey, here's what I got. Here's what the customer said. Don't worry, everyone. I've blocked the customer's contact information out so you can't see it because that's according to the group rules. And here's my response I've crafted up. What do you think about it? Should I change anything? Versus running to the group when you're so heated and emotional. Should I refund? Because the answers you get with the should I refund are going to be no refund. And you're still going to have so much work ahead of you.
And you have a confirmation bias there too.
Yeah, because we're all bakers. I mean, I want to say no refund. Sometimes in my mind, I'm like, no refund. But then I'm like, that is not helpful.
Short-sighted business mindset.
Yeah. It's what I want to say. I want to come up behind you and be like, we don't refund. But
no
also,
refund coalition.
that's our new group.
They're all in Sugar Creek Warriors. Yeah, I would love to challenge people to challenge their first line of thought. Typically, when you're emotional, you revert back to your most childlike self. Me, don't. Yeah, so then they say, okay, the only way, while you can't change your childlike self, you can understand that person, and then you can work around their biases and their experiences to find something that's actually a healthier version of that childhood initial response.
You call me a baby?
Yeah. Okay, we got to move on a little bit. We've just 50 minutes.
Well, you said this is our only topic today.
Okay, course coverage. The Cookie College now has its own private podcast because people can't get enough of this sultry voice.
Right
but
now.
Here's the thing. What?
Why are we talking
I
at the
don't
same
know.
time? Go ahead.
Okay. So people in the college said, hey, Heather, we just want more and more, but also we're baking. And while the classes are awesome and I can take a class and implement and have a new feature of my business or website or this or copy or that, I'd also just like to listen to why I am knee deep in dough.
I want extra podcast.
So it's around 30 minutes every Wednesday.
Today?
Well, yeah, but I had to put it out yesterday because now this is Wednesday.
Oh, you're ahead of schedule.
You know what? I aim to please my surround show friend.
If you sign up for the college, because we're just gift givers over here, you not only get 55 plus courses, plus a private Facebook group.
Plus your freebies, man. You've been dropping them like fire.
Yeah, and I am just
too crazy. Easter isn't ready for Corey's freebies.
Easter ain't ready. In the Cookie College, I've already gotten those Easter egg little kits from the cookie counters.
So
the little egg curtain things.
Yeah.
We already got 2 DIY kits up. I have the bunny bait photos.
Explain what this is to people who've never heard about it.
All right. In the Cookie College, I want you to have more time and I want you to make more money. So I like to spend mine and use mine. So you get freebie photos, and they're photos that I take. You know, I have my professional camera. I have way too many props. I own a prop fridge. I have all the backdrops, and I edit for you. So you get to use my photos, see what you can sell before you buy anything. So
and then you tell them exactly what they need to buy.
So Heather made this carrot cutter that's in front of me. And she's going to upload the STL file so you can actually recreate the photo exactly. So you can start selling now. Make this little cutter whenever you want and just bake in. I've done all the selling part.
I want to say that I really cheaply make cookie cutters because my policy is, did it cut though?
Did it cut though?
Yes. Didn't cut walls. Like grip handle? No. Filleting? Never heard of her.
That's her theme song.
Okay. Yeah. So the podcast. But March 3 free is if you sign up for the yearly plan in March. You actually only pay for 9 months. And here's the crazy thing. We've had almost over 30 Cookie College monthly members upgrade for this. So they must like us.
Do you think that I'm just, it's blown away. It blows me away. I'm going to blow them away. It blows me away that they find value in it. I've always wanted to create something that people find valuable. And well, I've been doing that all my life. It's really nice to do it in my 30s.
Yeah, so we had a lot of people upgrade.
How many chapstick? You have put chapstick on every minute for the last 20 minutes.
Not that bad.
You have 2 in front of you, and you have switched between the 2. It feels good.
I need some stimulation in my life. Voicemails we're going to skip because we took way too long this time. Right?
No.
You're just looking at me.
Okay.
In the group stuff, we have a Facebook Live by Gina Marie Burke tomorrow. If you've ever heard a Gina Marie Live, you know it's packed full of great content. But tomorrow is turning a no into a yes. And then she's also talking about She's talking about a topic that was in a very popular
It's on the
thread.
tip of your
Well, not
tongue.
remember. I can just feel my brain's like, yeah, you don't got it. But she said, just tell people that I'm going to talk about that in the podcast. So whatever, or in the Facebook Live.
Oh,
So
whatever that topic is.
It could be the secret of life. We just can't remember.
The perfect response to get customers to love you.
And then, oh yeah, any twin twists you got going on?
Hold on. Oh yeah, I have a sugar addiction problem.
Me too.
Yeah, I do too.
Ah.
You just ordered us dessert.
I said that
at
was a
once.
2-week test to see if I could cut out sugar.
Oh,
and the 2 weeks
okay.
has passed.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, my issue is I just want to have something sweet right before I go to bed. I'm not even really enjoying it. It's almost just like the rite of passage because I passed the pantry on the way up the stairs.
Okay.
So I was like buying Archer fruit snacks. I was buying fruit snacks. Guys, I love fruit snacks. They're my favorite.
Candy.
They're just candy. But then I was like, Corey, don't get the fruit roll-ups you always get for yourself. Buy this thing. I can't even remember the name, but it was called 12 Strawberries, 1 Apple.
Oh, wait. Is it where it just squishes a fruit into a strip?
Unfortunately.
Oh, is it good or bad?
It tasted like 12 squished strawberries.
Wait, are you
and
saying
1
this is your
squished
interest
apple.
or not to buy it?
Not to buy it.
Oh, yeah. Those things are terrible.
I was not interested in
That's probably
it.
very healthy.
It almost made you eat it and you wanted to go to bed to put yourself out of misery. Not sweet. Not a fruit roll-up for adults. Do not suggest.
I love me a good gusher. Anything I have that's interesting?
What do you have?
I was going through another minimalistic purge.
Okay.
Getting rid of
You
stuff.
got to get something better than your minimalistic
I'm sorry.
thing.
It's my new...
What's
okay,
a
I've
good twin trust?
this audiobook I'm reading called The Stress Proof Brain. Okay, man. You unrecommended a fruit roll-up. I don't see how mine gets
At least
this snore.
it's something to listen to.
I got Corey a baking mitt.
You already did that one.
But I not done anything?
You can talk about your little happy stuff right there.
My
Right
mom gave me an essential oil, and it says BEE Happy Synergy Blend. Ready to use. Roll on essential oil. Let me try it. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
Yeah, that'll do it. She's a happy kid.
Okay, sponsors. Goodness.
Wow.
Bakety Bake.
Yeah,
Bakety
Bakety Bake
Bake. Take it away.
is a company.
Wow.
Is a company that makes a meringue powder that's called Royal Batch. There's children in this. It's made. The website is called www.baketybakeIdaho.
That's not it. Oh, it is.
You weirdo! It is. No, I gotta look it up.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It is absolutely.
It's meringue powder. Let me see if I can say what you always say. It has egg whites. It has white coloring.
Yeah.
It has everything that'll make you happy in life. It has vanilla. Corn syrup's already in there, so you get to save on the money. And guess what? If you want to take a marker to it, it's not going to poke through. You know people who poke through on their icing. This is poke through no mo.
Twins at checkout.
Twins at checkout. Use code twins at checkout for 10% off. Okay, now you do cast iron the way I do it.
Cast iron.
And maybe
If you're
you're
guys looking for a website in 2022, you need to get cast iron. It's free to use.
Also March.
March is absolutely no fees. You keep everything. You sell something, it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Minus the fees from your Stripe or Square.
Credit card processing.
Credit card processing fees. In March, it's all, you can sign up. March, money in your pocket. It's free for you to use. If you make a sale, you can either impart the fees onto your customers, split them 50-50, or take them on yourself.
I like it. Okay, let me do you as Eddie. Guys, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm not even going to tell you the sponsor's name. You'll just have to understand that I'm just saying the name Eddie and not giving you any context as to what it is or what it does. But I used Eddie, and it makes it sound like I'm using a poor man. But I used Eddie, and he printed on these egg pops. And then Eddie posted it to their Instagram, and it got a lot of likes.
I did not sound like that.
Eddie, there's a group, Eddie.
There's a group of Facebook. Rude.
Eddie is a
Edible printer. Straight to food printer.
direct to food. Yeah,
Direct
and has
to food.
FDA approved ink. And it, Corey, you did make a really cute set though.
I actually wanted to see, could I do cookie pop? So when you put a lollipop stick, this is what I learned. Wilton's lollipop sticks are safe in the oven up to 350. Tested it yesterday. Whoever wrote that is correct.
What a risky click.
Yeah, I know. I just kept an eye on it. I was like, are you browning? Which then I said, okay, I'm going to put this in the Eddie and see if he can print. Eduardo took it like a true G. The thing is, I didn't want Eddie's colors to come onto the popsicle stick. Oh. So what I did was I took a little piece of paper and turned it in a circle and then slid it up on there. So when it printed, then I just switched it out every single
That's a good one. I guess worst case, you could put a bow on there or something, like a ribbon.
And I put a bow and you wouldn't have been able to see it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, Eddie's coming in clutch for your little Easter sets.
I know. I've really been using them a lot, so.
He's all
like
the
my
good ones.
I reckon if you're listening to this, like you listen to our old phone conversations.
If you ever listen to me at all. I'm just kidding. Okay, I think. Did you go mailbag? Sam's Cookie University sent us something from the mailbag. Can you go to the mailbag this week? Before Tuesday next week. Okay.
If there is not brownies in there with my name on it.
There's not brownies.
Someone said there's brownies.
She said just assume that there's brownies and go check.
There's brownies in there.
Okay, we're going to let everybody go.
Was that a good podcast?
I don't know. Did you guys think it was a good podcast?
I felt like we were rambling.
But I feel like we covered a really important topic, which is client communication when it comes to...
But it was so... Was it like a puzzle piece where they're now like, where does this little sentence go?
I don't know.
Let us know. Do I need to redo this one? I can't do it now. I got to go get my child.
You guys are stuck with us this time. Maybe next week you have a better shot at getting some quality content. Bye, everyone.